Subsequent to seeing colorful and a secret's voice lets him know he's won a prize, a boy unexpectedly awakens in what show of being a mortuary, not recalling anything. He attempts to leave the room and panics every one of the workers. Minutes after, he's sent back and a lady named Rudy appears close by, stressed over his condition. The boy passes out and when he awakens once more, he regards himself as in a hospital room. He attempts to get away, and as he runs down the lobby, doctors and nurses talk to him utilizing dreadful stares and cryptic sentences. The lift isn't working, so the boy climbs out of the window, yet the downpour makes him slip and fall. A mysterious force stops him and makes him stand on the building as though it was normal. A window cleaner with a similar creepy stare appears strolling on the wall as well, and when the boy inquires as to whether this is real, the man hits him to make him feel the real aggravation. This man is the guardian, and he explains that the boy's a spirit whose recollections have been erased before he was given the body of a teen named Min to live once more. The guardian makes Min hold the edge of the window and makes reality take the right point once more, so Min should move inside. When he gets back in bed, a nurse appears and is excessively strong with a needle, making Min coincidentally knock off a water bottle. As the water freezes in the air, the nurse uncovers herself as the guardian, who can take any shape they need. The guardian calls Min's body a homestay and explains that it's not permanent as they hand the boy an hourglass that is counting the time the spirit needs to find the reason why Min finished things for himself. On the chance in 100 days he doesn't have the answer, he'll die once more and never be reborn. Prior to leaving, the guardian reminds him not to tell anybody he isn't Min, and the water at long last tumbles to the floor. The following morning, a doctor comes for an examination, and Min figures out how to pass it by saying his complete name since he read it from the sticker on the medication. In this manner he's permitted to return home. Rudy ends up being Min's mom, and at home Min finds he likewise has a more elder brother named Men that is distraught to see Min return. Until further notice, Rudy want Min to sleep with Men so he can be looked after. He'll likewise wear Men's clothes until they get him new ones. Men hears this and tells his mom he'll remain at a friend's this evening. Min asks his mother what happened the day he ending things, yet, Rudy would rather not discuss it. Then, Min tracks down his father, who is opposed to inviting him, requests that he wait since he's on a significant require his MLM bunch, for which he quit his ordinary work. When sun sets, Min checks out the house while everybody is asleep. There aren't pictures of him in album, and when he goes to look at his old room, he finds it is locked. Min attempts to look inside by looking under the door, yet Men tracks down him and sends him back. The following morning, Min sees Men leaving with 2 PCs. Then he gets a lot of keys from the lounge room and attempts to open his room. Without any result, Min gets back to Men's room and climb through the window to walk along the edge of the building. This permits him to arrive at his own window. Lastly, get inside. There aren't any private possessions around. A couple of empty furnishings and the picture they used at his burial service. Seeing the death date affects him and makes him drop the picture to the floor. The noise stands out and she finds Min in the act. When he asks what happens his things, Rudy explains he disposed of them. She wishes to know why Min did what he did. It's then that Min sees the spot on the floor where the blood used to be. Crying her heart out, Rudy embraces Min firmly, asking him to avoid that at any point down the road. The next day, Min returns to school, and basically his mom got him his wallet back. In it he sees as an inquisitive pin and his mom's business card. She's an engineer that frequently needs to leave town for work. She didn't tell anybody in school concerning what occurred, meaning Min's story will be that he had the influenza. Returning to class isn't hard since Min was somewhat of a loner and didn't have a large number of friends. The main person that approaches him is his closest friend Lee, who has eyes for him that the first Min didn't return. Pi is in the card stunt club as is Min, so he gets hauled too. The following meeting where the leaders remind him he wants to complete the drawing for the following contest. Min quickly will work yet gets occupied when he sees students wearing something similar brooch he found in his wallet. By following them he finds the brooches mark the tip-top student of the Olympics class. So Min puts his on and attempts to go along with them. However, the teacher realizes he isn't his student and kick him out. Afterward, Min finds a note from his coaching accomplice telling him to meet her at the library. This is show how he meets Pi, a lovely young girl that he rapidly have a crush on, very much like the old Min did. After class, Min chooses to use the card his mom gave him to purchase more clothes and get hairstyle to impress Pi. Days pass with Min living it up with Pi. One evening, his father stops by the school to remind him he has a meeting with the school therapist and provides Min with a lot of his items to advance. The strange advisor starts asking very abnormal inquiries regarding Min's pubescence before he stands up and swallows a ton of the items Min brought. Unexpectedly, this medication freezes in the air and Min at last comprehends this person is really the guardian, who is here to remind Min to look for pieces of information. He'll as it were have a single opportunity to reply, and on the off chance that the response is correct the hourglass will stop. A couple of days after, there's a festival at school and Min searches for Pi, just to find her crying over a practice test she couldn't do. The pressure of the exclusive class is excessively, so Min offers expressions of help to remind she's perfect. He likewise think if they're a couple, which Pi denies since he never asked her out. Min invites her to the festival and they have heaps of fun together messing around, making wishes. What's more, watching the firecrackers, Pi makes reference to Min has changed a lot and doesn't look miserable any longer. Then they hold hands. The following day, Min hears his mom on the telephone. Obviously, his father sold her wedding band to pay for additional items for his MLM. To encourage her, Min helps her cook a few durians, which he eats without any issues. This shocks Rudy since Min used to can't stand durians, but she's glad to see she has a new child. She likewise shares a few tales of his childhood that shows the amount she generally dealt with him even in the difficult situations. Couple of days after, Min must complete a challenge he had promised Pi for finish his tests. She puts a lot of soap on his hair and makes him run 10 laps at the bridge, just to wind up going with him for company when they're finished. Pi gives him a present since it's his birthday. It's a kaleidoscope that she made herself. Pi then admits she prefers this Min better, and both of them kiss. Later at school, Min begins a drawing of Pi at the bridge. While working in the club, he discovers a few pictures that show him behind the scenes close to a locker. Min hurries to compel it open and thinks that it is empty. Tragically, yet Lee sees this and reminds him he left his PC in her own locker with a note to give it to his mother. When Lee went to his home that day, Rudy wasn't there, so she left the PC with Men. At home, Min looked through Men's room. He doesn't find the PC, yet he tracks down the missing pictures with his face scratched off on every one of them. He likewise finds a lot of desk work showing that Men goes to study in Germany. Then, Min really takes a look at Men's PC and find a discussion of him talking about what Min did since now he needs to remain with the family to help them rather than going to Germany. Men admits that he hates Min and wishes he were dead. He likewise viewed as his farewell letter in the PC and hide it from his parents. Min then understands that the second the PC Men took with him when he left must have been his, so he goes to Men's school to find it. Men discovers him in the act and says their family would be more happier without him prior to tossing the PC through of the window. Min quickly surges outside and finds the PC drifting because the Guardian is there, giggling at him prior to making the PC crash onto the ground. Min takes the PC home and figures out how to turn it on. The main file left is the farewell letter, which explains it was Min scratched his face off the photos prior to blending some obscure medication in with soft drink to make a lethal combo. The letter likewise says he hated his father for exploiting his wife's salary to remain in that MLM clique and that he hated how his brother was continuously deigning toward him, causing him to feel little. He cherished his mom, yet it was disappointing that she was rarely home. But the only thing is in his life was Pi. One night, Min goes to visit Pi and he's stunned to see her teacher getting frisky with her without Pi figuring a lot. The following day, Min hinders the exclusive class to punch the teacher and take Pi with him. When Min defies her on the roof, he shuts at her with fierceness, making Pi cry. She did not like the teacher, she just tolerates him since it had been her main opportunity to join the Olympics team for a good future. Her careers makes the biggest difference to her. Min figures she doesn't require him, so he focuses at the ground and tells her she could to end things for herself. Afterward, Min's father needs to approach talk with the principal about what occurred and asks why Min can't be normal, inciting Min to call him out for how he treated Rudy's ring. In a little while, Min chooses to shock his mom at work following the location on the rear of the business card, just to coincidentally find Rudy has been remaining with a boyfriend. When Rudy sees Min is there, she attempts to explain things, but Min takes off in tears. Back in his hometown, Min stays by the bridge under the downpour, pondering if he ought to end things once more. The raindrops out of nowhere quit moving and the Guardian appears, contemplating whether Min has the answer. Min answers he hates this life and doesn't blame the real Min for what he did. He thinks the family and Pi since they can't be relied upon. The hourglass doesn't not meaning the answer is off base, so the Guardian reminds Min he has 3 days left. When he gets back, Min crushes everything in his room minutes after. Lee appears at request the completed of drawing. Min's too irritated to even consider mindful and begins talking discourteously to Lee, telling her that Min never viewed as her a friend and won't ever like her back. He likewise admits Min missed school since he attempted to end things and didn't make reference to Lee in his farewell letter. Lee leaves the spot in tears. At night, Min and his father go get Rudy when she gets back from work. She's tired and needs to return home, yet Min demands they ought to go out to eat together. He moreover specifies he visited her at work to cause her to feel regretful. At the cafe, Min leaves his parent alone by pretending to go to the washroom, yet he keeps an eye on them and sees his father returning the ring. Rather than being happy, Rudy at last admits her affair. The father leaves without them. What's more, presently Min and his mother are distant from everyone else in the vehicle. Crying, Rudy apologizes to Min and explains she said a final farewell to her other boyfriend so she can constantly remain with her loved ones. Min won't acknowledge the expression of remorse and tells her he isn't her child. Her real child dies since she was a terrible mother. An argument begins among them and this occupies Rudy from seeing the other vehicle coming. Accordingly, a vehicle crash occurs. Hours after, Min awakens in the hospital. He promptly goes to check his mother, who is as yet oblivious, and Min appears to explain she's in bad condition. The father let him know what occurred, and Min asks why Min didn't tell him as opposed to finishing things since he would have assisted him with managing it. He thinks Min needs to not thinking no one cherished him. Min's not hurt and is sent home, where he finds the durian dessert Rudy left for himself and the kaleidoscope pie gifted him. Min understands he's been acting childishly and makes it up to his club by at last completing the drawing. The following day, the Olympics team reports that they'll join a vital tournament. Pai should give an announce, yet seeing Min in the gathering causes her to feel regretful. What's more, she takes off. Min finds her in a classroom going to act like a fool with a glass cup, so he is sorry to her and embraces her, explaining he had been irate a few days ago and talked without thinking. Pai ought not be nauseated with herself since everything was the teacher's issue. Feeling a piece better, Pai at last goes to the principal to tell her concerning the teacher's maltreatment. Since it's past the time to rehearse another plan, Min leaves the drawing for Pai with a message of help. A short time later, Min goes to see the card stunt club practicing. He is sorry to Lee, explaining she had been the main one to be nice to him and he never felt a debt of gratitude. Lee accepts the apology. Furthermore, admits that since Min didn't bring another drawing, she gave the team one of his old ones. 2 minutes shock. The team unexpectedly frames a drawing of Pai at the bridge that very closely resembles the new one. Recollections begin flooding Min's psyche as he takes off. The past Min's life streaks before him, showing him every one of the great times he had with his dear family and Pai. Min tumbles down the stairs also. The hourglass, presently frozen, tumbles from his pocket as Min unexpectedly returns in his room with the guardian taking the state of his appearance. Min has at last perceived that he is definitely not an irregular soul. He's the first Min, and he died since he didn't have any idea how to see the value in the beneficial things throughout his life. It's all his fault. The guardian compliments him for winning and explains the test had just been a method for making him see reality. Min will not be reborn elsewhere. He can keep this life. After the guardian vanishes, Min awakens in the school once more and the hourglass is gone. Lee keeps an eye on him and Min embraces her to celebrate prior to hurrying to the hospital to find Rudy has awakened. She explains she and the father are getting separated, so Min can assist him with living. Furthermore, she won't force him for picking the father since she hasn't been a good mother. Crying, Min apologizes for his actions and swears he won't ever lament being her child. From that point on, Min returns to his day-to-day existence. When Pai sends him a message showing she's won a medal, he satisfies his piece of the agreement and runs a couple of laps down the bridge with soap on his head and just wearing his clothing. The end. If you like this story, please subscribe to the channel and like it to motivate me to bring you more stories like this.